All right, everybody. Anyways, hello everyone, and we are back this time and now of Total Drama World Tour Simulator, and yes, New York City. From last time that all the teams were getting to know about Lady Liberty and then going for the boats to pass the sewers on the way out. And likewise, that Team Victory claimed their win, and for the rewards that were inside the six big apples. And then with the meat grinder was not in the apples, which were gone from at some point of New York City that was never found. Or maybe it was just hidden. But anyway, so as I said again, that Team Victory had claimed their first win and definitely won all the way back to first class without being eliminated. But so far, Jeff, by the way, took the big elimination, and so did Duncan. Which Duncan, on the other hand, already got himself a ride home, which I decided just to give him a little bit of a yee-ho pass away, so that way that he might return at some point of a mystery that might remain hiding, but who knows? I mean, like I said, who really physically knows? But as for Jeff, he, on the other hand, definitely was pretty much eliminated. It came down to him versus Star. But so far, Jeff was definitely eliminated, and so far, once again, definitely a big ouch of that elimination. So, clearly is enough that I'll say this again is that I am Chris McLean, and this will be a very great pleasure for the next of this episode right here and now of number 7. And of course, we're heading to another location that we are just about to leave New York City, about to be heading to another place for the next part of the challenges for this episode. So, anyways, let's jump on to the show here on Total Drama World Tour Simulator. Let's begin the show, everyone. Let's begin. Alright, meanwhile, with Team Victory in first class. So, anyways, looks like Danny is feeling pretty excited so far while he still remains to continue the competition. And then so far, Beth actually agrees with Danny at this point, since Danny and Beth were both talking, and they were both deciding to see who were going to vote out the next one of this episode. But so far, Beth was actually thinking about not voting for Courtney this time. She only was considering to vote for Goth Boy, which she clearly had no choice to vote for because too much obvious reasons. That goes on to see who the next target is in the next person's back. But so far, Danny kind of felt a bit confused to know why they were going to vote for him. Because exactly for that reason. But anyways, Courtney, on the other hand, was minding her business and enjoying while she just relaxes on the chair. And so far, DJ and Goth Boy were pretty much having a conversation as for much as late. But anyway, they were deciding to see who they were going to vote off this time. And they decided was going to vote for Danny, but oh boy, yikes. But so far, again, like always, continuing like always of the story, and then Courtney was pretty much feeling a bit honest to continue to see how they might remain to be in first place again, but no worries to that, I guess. Anyway, meanwhile with No Fierce Savages. And so far Alejandro and Adam were pretty much likely to think of an idea of a plan to reach their victory, but let's see if it just doesn't backfire. But so far Bridget was listening to the conversation, and oh boy, Bridget is unexpectedly to be surprised by Alejandro's sneaky clever moves, just to know how he's going to get Adam to do a bit of some evil plotting. But holy moly. It then looks like Bridget had no other choice to talk to Sadie, which is going to be likely a bit of a different go around. But anyway, to the meanwhile, the point that the continuation of the conversation remains on the script, or pretty much on the docs. But so far, meanwhile, with the Nancy Drew catchers in the Chris McLean movie theater set. And so far, Josh, on the other hand, was thinking of something, which he was thinking of something that he was referring to boxing. And then Justin, on the other hand, pretty much didn't want his face to be damaged in his face area because for some stupid reason, we don't know why, but again, it's pretty much for what he does. But anyways, looks like Josh didn't really care for what Justin said for no reason, but yeah, pretty much. And whatsoever. Which Trent, on the other hand, actually agreed with Justin for a little bit, just for an honest opinion for that point, which Trent already knows, but yeah, that's probably what that would have been. But so far, looks like Josh was making a little bit of some sense. And then Trent did not mind about the boxing fights, which he did not mention about that, or should I say that he already did see some boxing fights. And meanwhile, that Katie was thinking of something and pretty much know where everyone's going to be at the challenge. And then, of course, looks like meanwhile with the squad of the professionals, and was also along with the Nancy Drew catchers and the Chris McClain movie theater set. But so far, that the squad of the professionals feel pretty good that they're feeling a little bit untouchable without being eliminated, which is pretty damn good so far for them. Which I gotta say that, well, I'm pretty surprised that Gwen, Owen, Tyler, Izzy, and Heather are the only ones who are pretty bit untouchable without being eliminated. But holy crud, that is insane, or pretty nuts to say. But heck, that is pretty crazy to see. And so far, meanwhile, with Team Amazon in the back of the plane, which at this point Harold had no other choice but to lead the team, and will have to might as well get on with his only leading skills to help out Team Amazon without being eliminated, to help the three ladies, that is Lindsay and of course Sally and Sierra, which looks like Harold just has no other choice to do that but whatsoever until the elimination that involved with Duncan being eliminated at the fifth episode, but whatsoever. And meanwhile, with Chris is really, really, really hot in the back of the plane with Team Amazon, which so far that Noah, Star, and Gothlistic Girl are the three people that are actually remain to be left to be almost become to be a duo. Which, like I said, it's going to be pretty nuts to see a duo, but heck, we'll see what this goes on for the day. But so far, man, that is going to be crazy. But so far, looks like everyone are about to pretty much likely to get to the next part of the challenge, which I think they pretty much definitely agreed since, yeah, Noah actually kind of agrees so far that, well, Jeff was pretty much the only one who got eliminated because due to the fact that Team Chris is really, really hot was on the next chopping block to be eliminated. Anyway, here I come to do so, but anyway, attention everyone. We are about to make a land here that is known to be Germany in the snow near the mountains. So again, please unbuckle your seatbelts at the cargo hold below. Anyway, everyone heads to the cargo hold and pulls the lever down. And everyone was screaming all the way down and landed on the snow. And all of them got up on the snow where I, on the other hand, is about to explain about the avalanche territory. So, for this challenge is that we are in the avalanche territory and are in Germany. And if I was one of you guys in your shoes right now and kind of would keep to want to keep it down, not loud. Anyways, it's music time and very much likely musical note time. And for the only people that can sing this one would be is Danny, Beth and Adam and Alejandro and Trent and Josh and Gwen and Owen and Sally gets to sing. And as for the rest of everyone else, well, they pretty much have to be aware of the avalanche territory if somebody doesn't misstep. But anyways, go. And so far the song has now begun. Alright, and here goes the song, and Owen is feeling hungry, and oh my goodness, look at this. And the song continues. And once again, so far that once again Josh didn't pretty much care what Adam had to say right there, but ouch. But so far it looks like Beth did not mind about the pretty much the mountains. And Danny was pretty much enjoying about the flowers that bloom each day. And so far, man, Gwen was pretty much likely not to enjoy Heaven's attitude, which she pretty much didn't. And so did the rest of the other team of the professionals. And so far, after that was happening, the song was over until the avalanche starts to fall down, which was at random. Oh boy. And it looks like everyone, on the other hand, was definitely falling down the snow. And for the avalanche, and tell them to meet with me. Well done, and also awesome. Awesome. All right, awesome. As everyone got to the hill for the